Tonight we're going to continue our work with subtracting signed rational numbers. Last night we focused on fractions and mixed numbers. Tonight we're going to focus on decimals. Our objective: I can subtract decimals using number lines and the rules for addition of integers. You remember, anytime we're talking about subtracting signed numbers, step one is to rewrite as an addition statement, then we fall right back on using those rules for addition of integers. Find the following difference using a number line model. Okay, so it's negative 0.75 minus 0.5. So again, when we subtract a positive on the number line, that means we'll move left whenever you subtract a positive. Anytime you're going to subtract a positive, you need to go ahead and move left on that number line. So we're going to go to negative 0.75. It's like I lost 75 cents. Then I'm going to subtract off an additional 0.5. I've lost 50 more cents. And there I am at negative 0.125. I've lost $1.25. Hopefully you remember that when you subtract a positive on the number line, you move left. Go back and review the video for subtracting positives on the number line if you need some extra support with that. All right, let's take a look at the same example without using number line. Rewrite your subtraction statement as an addition statement, then use the rules for adding signed numbers. So again, we always change our subtraction to addition, then we take the opposite of the number that was being subtracted. We were subtracting 0.5. Opposite of 0.5 is negative 0.5. The additive inverse of 0.5 is a negative 0.25. So that becomes plus a negative. Next step is circle the sign that goes with the number. Well, that first sign in front of the first number is a negative, and now the sign in front of our second number is a negative. Are those signs the same or are those signs different? Those signs are the same. So we're going to find the sum. So off to the side, I'm going to find the sum, which means I'll add 0.75 plus 0.5. Please remember, when combining decimals, you need to line up those decimal points. 5 and 7 is 12, so that becomes 1.25. So I'm like, okay, I know my answer will involve a 1.25. Now I just have to decide, will that answer be positive or negative? So I ask myself, what do I have more of? Do I have more positives or more negatives? Hey, wait a minute, there's only negatives running around. My answer will be negative. So do I have more positives or negatives? Hey, wait a minute. All we have is negatives, so the answer is negative. So on a number line, we got negative 1.25, and using our rules, we got negative 1.25. Let's take a look at another example. Find the following difference using a number line model. Negative 7/10 minus a negative 2/10. You remember, on a number line, when you subtract a negative, we're going to have to move to the right. When we subtracted a positive, we had to move left. So when we subtract a negative, you need to do opposite of that. You need to move right. This is broken up into tenths. So I'll go negative 7/10. So I'll start at 0. I'll go negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. I am subtracting a negative, so I need to move to the right. I need to move back to the right 1, 2/10. And where do I end up? Negative 5/10. So I know my answer to that is a negative 0.5. Now let's do that same example, but just using our rules. Let's use our rules for subtraction, for subtracting signed numbers to solve the same problem. The first thing we're going to do is rewrite our subtraction statement as an addition statement. So we know we change our subtraction to addition and take the opposite of the number being subtracted. So now it's negative 0.7 plus a positive 0.2. That point, we fall back on our rules for addition. Circle the sign that goes with the number. That first number has a negative in front. That second number has a positive in front. Are those signs the same or are those signs different? Those signs are different. That one has a negative. That one has a positive. Those signs are different. It means we will find the difference. So off to the side, I just find the difference. 0.7, that's my larger absolute value. I'm going to subtract off 0.2. And I lined up my decimal points. 7 minus 2 is 5. So then I'm like, okay, my answer is going to involve 0.5. Now I have to decide, will that be a positive 0.5 or a negative 0.5? Well, I have set negative 7/10 and I have positive 2/10. So I actually have negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/10. I only have a positive 2/10. You know, negative and positive pair up and zero each other out. What am I left with? Oh, I'm left with negative 5/10. So do I have more negatives or more positives? In that case, I definitely had more negatives, so my answer will be negative. And again, this is just my scratch work off to the side. The final answer is negative 0.5, which is the same answer we got using our number line. Let's use the rules for subtracting sign numbers to solve the following problem. If you need to draw a number line, please feel free to do that. Let's take a look at 1.5 minus 2.5. Circle the sign that goes with the number. All right, oops, first we have to rewrite our subtraction statement as an addition statement. So if I'm given subtraction, my first step is to always change that subtraction to addition, change the sign of the number being subtracted. Take the additive inverse of positive 2.5. Well, that becomes a negative 2.5. So now we have 1.5 plus a negative 2.5. We're going to circle the sign that goes with the number. So I'm going to circle that one. No signs in front. I'm like, oh, that must be a positive. Circle the sign right in front of that number. Are those signs the same or are those signs different? That's the next thing you need to ask yourself. Those signs are actually different. One's positive, the other's negative, so we need to find the difference. So I just off to the side take the larger absolute value, which is my 2.5, and subtract off. The signs were different. That was positive, that was negative. I have to find the difference. So it's 2.5 minus 1.5. 5 minus 5 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. So my answer is going to involve some sort of a 1 or 1.0 if you'd like. Now I have to decide, what do I have more of? Well, I have a positive 1.5. I have negative 2.5, so I have more negative, so my answer will definitely be negative. You have more negatives, your answer is negative. So again, there's our scratch work off to the side, finding the difference, and our final answer is negative. What I'd like you to do, I don't want you to add those numbers. Let's change that. I'd like you to subtract the following signed rational numbers and be ready to share your results in class tomorrow. So you try these 3 on your own. I won't be doing them on the video. Bring your results to class and we'll see how you did. Have a good night.